Hey guys, welcome back to Get Into It with Jason Hook with me, your host, Jason Hook. And I'm back. And I'm a dad. And I've been doing dad shit. But I have a little bit of free time right now, so I'm going to make a video. It'll kick on in a minute. There's a little slow intro here. But what we're going to be listening to is the soundtrack to Surf Nazis Must Die. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of this movie or seen it. It's a very classic 80s midnight schlock slasher, low budget horror film that's funny, but I don't know if it's supposed to be. I haven't seen it in a long time. I know Troma. I don't know if they were the ones originally behind it, but I know they I know they distroed it or whatever, because I remember buying it on VHS back in the day. Troma VHSs came in, like, they had all the same black uniform case on them with like a poster of the movie, and they're wicked expensive, and I used to buy them all the time, and now they're in my basement. But anyways, it's mostly a synth soundtrack. There's no lyrics or song or actual songs. It's just music for the background. But it's really good, very 80s. I believe 1987 this movie came out. 1986. This is on Strange Disc Records. I believe they've done a lot of soundtracks. There's some Linnea Quigley records on the back here for sale. Freddy's Greatest Hits, which I want to. And I picked this up at the Worcester Horror Convention off of Vinegar Syndrome, which is it's a store in Connecticut that sells DVDs of our Blu-rays of horror movies, some obscure ones, some not so obscure ones. And they also have a record store called The Archive, which I believe is also kind of Vinegar Syndrome is run out of that. I could be wrong. I'm going to link both of them below. You should go give them your business because they're cool. Dude loves hardcore. That was working in Worcester. But anyways, that's the Surf Nazis Must Die soundtrack. Yeah, the title alone was enough for schlock fans to go rifling through VHS bins in search of rare ex-rental copy of this 1987 Troma gem, so Troma did make it. And understandably, it's gone down in history as one of the B-movie world's oddest movies. The film really does exactly what you'd hope. Set in a post-apocalyptic future, neo-Nazi surfer punks are running riot, and of course, a gun-toting grandma seeks to wipe them out after they kill her beloved grandson. Seriously. So yeah, it's a corny movie, but it's a good watch. Soundtrack's actually pretty good for a low-budget 80s horror movie, but that's the Surf Nazis Must Die soundtrack on Strange Disc. So next, I have a little bit of businessy type stuff to do. So these guys contacted me. This is Dead Friends. It's a company that prints flyers onto mugs. They sent me this one of the Floor Punch show. Floor Punch 10-yard fight. Underdog saves the day in diecast in Boston, December 26, 1998. I could not go to the show. I did not have a ride. I was 16. Life's hard. But I remember seeing this flyer, and he had this one for sale. I'm going to post his Etsy shop. He also does, if you guys want to have a flyer of a show that was important to you, or even if it's something like you and your friends, like a funny show, like I plan on doing this for Christmas most likely the next week or so, you can send. He'll print the flyer. He'll do custom mugs for you. He also has an American Nightmare mug going up soon. I know for you AN heads. But he's a fan of Get Into It. And because he's a fan of Get Into It, and because you guys are watching this, he has given me a coupon code. Get Into It 10 for 10% off. So that's sick. Definitely give him business. Yeah, he has some pre-existing mugs up right now. Like I said, he'll do custom mugs. And he has an American Nightmare mug on the way, which I know is going to be a hot seller, especially for you HC fans. Anything AN sells. Never a fan of that band, but that's a whole nother episode. I actually was drinking tea out of this, but I'm not doing anything now. I should have done a live action, but yeah. So check it out. It's a nice quality. This isn't like schlocky or cheaply done. And yeah, he reached out to me and said he loved the channel, and he had one of these, and I wanted it. Like, look how sick that is. I know no one, like in the world, no one will care about this except for a certain few subculture, but it's definitely cool. And check them out. That's Dead Friends. I'm looking down here to make sure it's an Etsy shop. And the Get Into It code, and the code is Get Into It 10 for 10% off. Thanks, man. I'm gonna be placing an order soon, but help him out. Give him money. Buy something. I'm thinking about some weird like Showcase Showdown flyers I want to put on a mug. Next, I have a little thing to the first thing. It's not going to be a record here, but I have the Sound and Fury. Something else in here. I never even saw that. The Sound and Fury photo zine that Todd Pollock did. These are still readily available. I'm going to post the, I think it's Big Cartel or whatever, his store below to check these out. These are a collection of photos he's taken over the years at the Sound and Fury Fest out in California. Came with this Todd's War sticker here, straight edge. Todd is from Massachusetts, lives on the South Shore, takes photos at every show. You have probably seen his photos and not known. But the way he made this was it's an LP size, so it comes in a little sleeve. And then these are really high quality photos. I'm not going to give away everything here. Who do you guys want to see here? What's a hot band? What's a hot, cool band? What do we got here? Oh, here you go. There's a cool start right here. So here's Eco Strike and Abuse of Power. I believe these are over the years. They have to be, because there's a lot of photos in here. Here's a cool rotting out crowd shot. You can see some Jesus Peace sweatpants in there. Buy this, see if you can see yourself or your friends. Spiritual Cramp, Dare, Nosebleed, Candy, Detains in here. Trail of Lies is a well-known photo right there. So it's just a cool little photo book, I believe. Photo book. I believe these are relatively cheap. I think it's $13, maybe even be cheaper than that. They're called Negative Approach and Freedom. They got Detroit on the same page. Two different areas of Detroit, but Detroit nonetheless. That's all I'm going to show you. You got to buy the rest. I'm not going to give it all away for free. Picture of the mic there. And like I said, it comes in this cool little LP-like sleeve, which is, you know, paying homage to what hardcore is all about, which is records. I have something on my hand. But this is cool as hell. Still readily available. He does local pickup if you're going to be. He goes to every show and takes photos. So if you know you're going to be at a show, you can work something out with him, I believe. But it's got all the bands listed on the back. That's a Sound and Fury photo zine by Todd Pollock. And like I said, you've seen his photos, even though you probably don't think you have. He's all over the place. Now, let's get into music. First thing I have here is the Fallen Upon Deaf Ears 10-inch compilation that came out on the Skullduggery label. I believe this was 1994. This is very 90s. Very, very 90s. It's a mix of all different kinds of band. Like, the only thing they have in common is they're like underground or punk or hardcore. But it's all, every corner is covered in this. So you got Nausea, Drop Dead, Spark Marker, Dogfight, Anti-Schism, Subvert, and then Screeching Weasel, Los Vampiros, Trusty, Vindictives, and Dread. And then in the very, very 90s fashion, like what records used to look like when I started buying, you open it up and you got a full-ass catalog here. Let's see what we got here. What are the prices here? Oh, you can get the cover of this record. That swell cover art, imposing red on beige on 100% cotton. Only larger XL. Again, 90s. $10 postpaid. These Situate, Massachusetts. I wonder. Oh man, that's South Shore. I most likely probably might have come across the person who runs this label. I'm gonna have to dig into that. I bought this in Maine at a thrift shop for $7. So, also, Nausea, Drop Dead, Screeching Weasel, Vindictives. Vindictives are a draw. I don't know. Not offense, no offense, but Skullduggery Label stuff. Keeping Score #1, sold out. Everything's sold out. Furnace Face 7-inch, $1.95. And then he's got a distro in here. That's what the postage is. In the USA, please add $1.05 for the first half pound and 43 cents for each additional half pound. That provides fourth class book rate service. COD available within the USA only. For priority first class, add $2.90 for a 2-pound package and 90 cents for each additional pound. Canada and Europe, Asia, customers right for rate sheet. But it's got New Bomb Turks, Sharpen Up Time 7-inch, $2. Girl Trouble, $9.95 CD, that's expensive. Gas Hover, Janitors of Tomorrow LP, $6.50, CD, $8.50, the LP is cheaper. It's the other way around now. But yeah, it's just a distro here, Screeching Weasel stuff. Complete Selfless Discography, 1990 to present. Oh, he put out Toxic Reasons 7-inch. Does anyone know this guy? My local, out of Situate, Mass? Someone has to. There's no name. I don't see any name on here. The Drop Dead LP, 25 package and steel covers, still in print. Drop Dead stuff. Drop Dead's 15-song 7-inch, 1,000 press, all copies on white vinyl. Anyways, should have looked at that a little bit more. But it's a 10-inch. You got They got custom labels here with just the sides. Black vinyl, you guys know what that looks like. But that's the Fallen Upon Deaf Ears comp. 1994, right? Yeah, 1994. Out of Situate, Mass. I'm going to look into this. Old heads. Who is this? I mean, I was 12, but Situate's like 2 towns over from me, and this is like suburbs. Like, we are nowhere near city down here. Not far away, but not far away mile-wise, but far away, like, this is a very suburban area. But that's Fallen Upon Deaf Ears, the 10-inch comp. $7. I picked it up. Needed it. Love it. Next, another comp, another very 1990s comp. The XXX, Some Ideas Are Poisonous on Ebullition Records. This is a double LP comp. All the bands on here are straight edge, and the thing about it though is they kind of fall away from the super chuggy basketball short, basketball jersey mosh straight edge. There's some emo in here. The Monster X is on here, so it's like the kind of hardcore with like more of a grindy death vocal. There's like a weird, almost like electronic song on here. Some really long songs with like borderline screamo, but 90s screamo. I believe, what year was this? 1995. So this is the year after the first one. Again, very 90s. This is an $8 buy in Maine. I've always picked this up and put this down over the years. I finally just pulled the trigger on it because I feel like I have to own it. But you know, here we are, the newsprint insert booklet with all the mailing information, all the bands on it. Every band has their own page. Some are just lyrics and information. Some go into like right here. Please note, although this could be misconstrued as a simple me telling you how to live your life song, it isn't. It's just a documentation of a feeling. The I is not me, and the you is not particular you. Is not a particular you. Rather, it's about an attitude that most of us have occasionally, some more than others. Attitude that some of us have occasionally, some more than others. To some degree, caring, insight, and feeling of kinship are somehow involved. But this song is also about pride, frustration, anger, insensitivity, self-righteousness, and ugly selfishness. A multiplicity of motives guide our every action, and it is important that we realize why we do things and for whom. That's Portraits of Past, Sticks Together, the song, Berkeley, California. But there's a whole booklet of this. You got political opinions listed in here. I believe it's Ken from Ebullition. Let me see. Right smack in the middle here. Somehow I'm left with the feeling that we are all part of one big accident. XXX, the tie that binds. Ebullition number 24, the straight edge compilation. Does life have meaning? So again, very 90s. I know there's a little bit of a chug to some of these bands, but it's not super heavy. It's way more experimental. There's way more, I mean, the word emo is used because everyone thinks of like the 90s. Like, is Kent, guy who owns Ebullition, writes there's 2 pages here and there's 2 pages further up just about straight edge in general. How he got into straight edge, how he feels about it. Just, you know, he writes a little piece in here. Again, very 90s. A lot of different time than now. Writes kind of a long piece about it. Just about the origins, transition, evolution, and diversion of the record. It's very like kind of deep stuff. A little wordy, but it's what it is. But this is actually comes with a sticker too. Here you go. Still there. But this is like 90s as 90s can get. Like I said, double LP. I'll read off the bands that are on here. It's black vinyl. They're all the same here. So you got Monster X, Well Away, Frail, Policy of 3, Trees Without Leaves, Prozac Memory, Threadbare, Shatter the Myth, Endeavor, None Left Standing, Pogrom, Groundwork, and Portraits of Past. So there's a lot of different bands on here. You pick this thing up for $7-8. You can't lose. It's definitely a snapshot of an era. This stuff was like, I heard this comp when I was probably 11 or 12. What year was it? 1995. Yeah, I was 12. Yeah, so I was probably 12, 13 the first time I heard this, around the time it came out. It was what hardcore was then. And it's cool. But that's the XXX Some Ideas Are Poisonous double LP comp on Ebullition. Alright, next, what do I have here? Another kind of comp. Here we have the Maximum Penelty 89 demo, but this is the version that came out on Reaper Records in 2019. This is New York hardcore. more of a melodic side. Late 80s NYC. If you dig Underdog, you'll dig these guys. It's definitely on a little bit more of the melodic tip. It's not hard and heavy. It is hard and heavy at some parts, but it has like that very New York melody to it, which this band I'm a late bloomer to. I'd only really heard them in the last year or so. Red vinyl. Looks orange with the light, but it's red. I only heard them in the last year or so. They played I saw them in Philly this past summer, and I thought they were great. I picked this up at that show. I've been meaning to order it, and then I saw it, and I was like, fucking, I'm buying it. But this definitely, if you guys just want to check out anything, I'm pretty sure this is like a pretty close to full discography of this band, of the 89 era, of the early era. I don't want to go back. We'll go one more try. The record's over. It was too low, and I don't think any of you guys could hear it. All right, we'll deal with that later. But it comes with this cool poster booklet too here. That's just got all the flyers of all the shows they played. And then you open it up. This has got the Maximum Penelty logo. They play out every once in a while. I think they're more at this point of like a fest band where it's just, you know, the dudes are older. I don't think, you know, they'll come out to bigger shows. They're not playing VFW halls on Tuesday nights to 10 people anymore, which they shouldn't, because they've done their time and done their work. But if you dig like Underdog, Leeway, who else? I'm fucking spacing, dude. Crackdown. Let's just look at some of the flyers here. Crackdown, SFA, Hogan's Heroes. It's definitely like not Youth Crew, more, I would say more metal, but not super blown out metal. It's the perfect mix of the not full crossover, but it's starting to dabble in crossover. They played a ton of shows, man. Just the Ultimate Thrashcore Party of the Year, Department of Corruption, Maximum Pain and Destruction, and the Cro-Mags. Just really good stuff. I think kind of underrated, kind of went under the radar for whatever reason. But Reaper putting this out is definitely cool. Definitely makes it more attainable. But that's Maximum Penelty, the 89 demo. There's all different versions of this. This is the newest one. This is embossed too. It's cool. This is the newest one. I'll grab this one. You can get it for, I'm not going to say cheap, but it's priced accordingly to a new record. But the layout and the booklet, and they remastered it, and the lyrics, it's worth it. But Maximum Penelty, the 89 demo. I'm going to flip the record now. Ugh. Turn this up a smidge. All right, I'm back. Got this cool SSD shirt, picked up from Bridge 9. Been in my rotation now. Lost weight. I'm still kind of fat. I'm flabby now. Not as thick, but whatever. Next we have Disgust. Flashback to Trashback. Disgust are a Dutch punk band from the early 80s. This is out on, Noise Distortion Records. I picked this up from Sorry State for real cheap. The only thing that's a bummer is that with these represses here, it's like, it's like fuzzy. The graphics are a little poor. But this is Dutch hardcore punk from the mid 80s, 84, 85, 86, I believe. I could be wrong. If you really dig like the early 80s punk sound, this is an obscure band which you should get into, and then you draw that on your jacket, and everyone will think you're cool because you know more. It's on black vinyl. It's just got really easy center labels here. Just comes with this poster. It's got the lyrics on the other side. You can't see because it open the blinds. But yeah, it's cool. It's early 80s. Hi there. We'd like to make a little remark about the sound quality on this album. When we were approached by Noise Distortion Records to re-release our old stuff, we were very surprised at first. After some thinking and talking about it, we felt honored and agreed to do the project. We went and looked for the original 8-track tapes, but they were nowhere to be found. That's why we recorded the old Brainwash and Thrashback tapes on hard disk and remastered them digitally. Because the tapes are more than 20 years old, there are a couple of flaws here and there, and the last 7-inch songs have a crackle sometimes. Anyway, we are quite pleased with the overall result, and we hope that you enjoy our music, and we enjoyed it back in the 80s. And then it's just, you know, also a little comment about the title of our second official tape called Trashback. When Maximum Rock and Roll reviewed it in 1985, they wrote, "R, it's thrashback, not trashback." But really meant trashback, because we were and still are a little bit against the grain. So yeah, it's just like, it's like early 80s, just punk. Fast, not the most tightest stuff you're going to hear, but just good. Hardcore hasn't necessarily taken a full effect yet, in a way, so it's still definitely got that punk sound, a little bit of D-beat in there, and I would just definitely check it out. I think I only got this it was like $6, but that's the Disgust Flashback to Trashback. I believe it's pretty much everything. I think it's 2 tapes, 84, 85, Dutch punk, sung in English. Is it all in English? Yeah, it's all in English. Next, we have another one I got from Sorry State, Willful Neglect. There's another, they had a sale. This is on Havoc Records and Honey Records, H-O with an umlaut, H-N-I-E, which is out of Germany. This was a band from Minnesota, another early 80s punk band. Obscure is not the right word, it's just there's so many punk bands, and you know all the big ones, but there was more than what you know, all the ones you hear about all the time. So it's also got Neglected Records production on here, so it's got an insert here. Similar to Disgust, this is just really great early 80s, but in this case, American punk. A little more hardcore influence than Disgust, I would say. Just white labels. A little more hardcore tinge, which again was going on. Minnesota had an amazing scene in the early 80s. Everything from like the more... They had their own world there. It's like Midwest, which was just great. I wrote a little bit more about this band. This is both the LPs on one LP, 1982 and 1983. Yeah, I said Minnesota. Just again, in the vein of Disgust, kind of lesser known early 80s punk. This is, you know, international. The U.S. And I believe there's another $6, $7 record for sale from Sorry State, so go check it out. I'll post a link below. Next, we have another interesting band, Stickmen with Ray Guns. The name of this record is, I wrote it down, Property of Jesus Christ, because that's on his shirt. This is a live record from 1984, Rock Against Reagan tour in Houston, Texas. Stickmen with Ray Guns are out of Dallas, Texas. They're a punk band. Some people say a little art rock in there. I didn't necessarily hear it. I can understand why you would say that, though. That were known to be really, really antagonistic towards the audience when they played. The singer is not shy of telling people in the crowd what he thinks about them, which is on the live tape, on the live record. This is not the best sound quality, but then again, it's a 1984, probably VFW Hall, small area live show. So just bear with me if you guys check it out with that. I am going to go buy some more stuff by this band. This is a band I've been meaning to check out for a long time and just kind of haven't out of just sheer laziness, and their stuff doesn't really pop up that often. I bought this in Philadelphia when I was down there over the summer. It's not really rare or expensive. You just don't see it. It's one of those weird like things where you're not gonna have to break the bank, but it just doesn't pop up every day. But here you got some photos. I believe they're from, I don't know if they're from the show, but here you got David Yao from Scratch Acid and Jesus Lizard, and David Sims from Scratch Acid, Jesus Lizard, and Tomahawk. Steve Anderson from the Crybabies from Screws and Scratch Acid, and the singer. So it's like they were like a Texas known, like that whole Scratch Acid Butthole Surfers era, like early punk, but like really antagonistic, really nihilistic, not nice to the crowd, not nice to everyone, anyone, angry punk. You know, lyrics like I'll kill mother, mother like 8 times, scavenger of death, belly full of unsatisfied from foul rank rotten flesh, belch and fart deliriously, a pile of bones have left, close your eyes, rest your head, dream of meals to come, awake red-eyed and famished, breakfast in the sun. So it's just stuff like that. And like I said, the singer Bobby Sox tells the crowd what he thinks while they play. And the story behind Stickman with Ray Guns is supposedly the singer Bobby Sox it's a comic strip he created where it was a guy with a ray gun who would just do super like It was almost like a play where he would like, if he saw like where he'd do racist and horrible things and say horrible things, it was supposed to be like Society. But this is Stickman with Ray Guns, Property of Jesus Christ. This is a live record from 1984. I believe this came out in, I wrote it down so I can tell you, 2016 on 12XU Records. But check that out. And you'll see more of them in the future. I'm on the hunt for their stuff. Next, we're going to go to Now Times, and a little bit different. Here is Ceremonies in the Spirit World. This came out this year on Relapse Records. If you guys know Ceremony, they're a California band that is kind of they were a power violence band, hardcore band, and then it went to a more punkier, like punk hardcore sound with Roner Park. And then they had Zoo, and then they've moved up to, it's a new wavy post-punk sound, I would say. I enjoy all their records. I know there's people who ebb and flow with them. Every single record they put out, I go and buy. The special versions that came with the Rubik's Cube, which I missed. But this is the Clear with Rainbow Splatter Edition, limited to 500 copies. I believe this was the tour version. I bought this directly from the band when I saw them a few months ago. So you got the die-cast front here. And then you got, it's like day and night. So it's A and B. I'm not sure if it's a concept record. It might be. But what you get out of here is definitely like a post-punk. Like if you're looking for the power violence-y, like straightforward punk songs of the early Ceremony stuff, you're not going to find it here, and that's fine. What you're going to find here is just, I'll say new wave, post-punk, just great shit. It's good. I spun this record repeatedly. I waited to see them before I bought it. I listened to a little bit online. I cheated. But when I bought this from them, this was on constant rotation for me. But again, this is now easy to find. It's on Relapse. Put it on your wish list. But that's Ceremony in the Spirit World now. This came out, I want to say August, maybe July. Sorry, people are messaging me. I got word bubbles. I'll see you guys in a minute. Next, we have Echo and the Bunnymen. That's 79, 89 BBC tapes. I bought this from Newberry Comics randomly in a sale bin. This is screen printed and it's numbered to 500. There's no insert here. Is it black vinyl? Yeah, there's no insert here. It's got songs here in silver labels. So what you got here, it's kind of like a live demo practice radio tape. I'm kind of new to, not new to Echo and the Bunnymen. The Killing Field's not on here. This is pre-Killing Field. So this is like early Echo, or is it Eco? Let's say Eco. This is the early Echo and the Bunnymen. It was cheap, it was for sale. I'm not totally in love with it. I'm going to spin it a couple more times. I'm going to dive a little more deeper into the catalog. But I just saw this. It says $19.99. I know I didn't pay that. This might have been in like a double discount, like 40% off and then 10% off. So I probably got it for like $10. But it's got a show of strength, pictures on my wall, all that jazz, heavens up here, all my colors, over the wall, Villar's Terrace, I Bagsy Yours, read it in books, and Ashes to Ashes. I can't really read it, it's kind of scribbled on it. But this is screen print. It's a nice thing. It's a weird thing I saw. New wave rock, pop punk, definitely that 80s sound. A little bit darker. Killing Field is like the song everyone knows. This is a little bit more darker than that, but I'm going to listen to it more. Like I said, I'm not totally in love with it. The recording isn't that great. It's a radio live tape, but I saw it for cheap and wanted to check it out. So if you guys have any of their stuff you want to recommend, comment below and I'll check it out. I'll get into it, if you will. Next, I have Chrimpshrine, The Sound of a New World Being Born. This is a compilation of all their early Lookout Records, comp tracks, and split tracks. This originally came out in 1998. This is a I wrote it down so I can be smart. This is a 2017 repress of it on vinyl. I believe the original 1998 was just a CD on Numero Records. Chrimpshrine are an East Bay punk band. Definitely a pop punk band. That East Bay sound, that Lookout sound is kind of these guys for sure. At one point, Jesse Michaels and Tim Armstrong from Rancid were in this band. These guys started in the early 80s. Then moved down to Eric Comet Bus, who did the Comet Bus zine. And then you got the poster here. It's just got all the lyrics and random photos and flyers. This was another cheap buy from Newberry Comics when I bought that Echo record. This got a really thick, nice sleeve on it though, so this thing will last forever. But yeah, so this is like that early East Bay pop punk sound, not like the surfy not like the softer, cornier Fat Records kind of pop punk, which I also love. This is more of like the grittier stuff. Songs about drug abuse, being homeless. Not overly political, some political tones, but just a lot of records about, a lot of songs just about the life they were living, you know, as kind of squattery, homeless kids in the East Bay, playing at I was going to say ABC No Rio. Berkeley, what's the name of the place? Why am I being an idiot? Gilman Street. Also, I totally forgot, Jeff Ott is in this band. He went on to be in 15 and all that stuff too. But Chrimpshrine, check them out. They definitely fall in like, there's people who love this band. There's some shady stories about some of the members, which kind of, I think, kills their legacy a little bit, if you will, if they even have a legacy. $11.99. Again, I don't think I paid that. But again, yeah, this is Chrimpshrine. Check it out. Pop punk, but not the corny pop punk, which I also love. Speaking of kind of pop punk and corniness, not corniness, but next I have 2 records by the same band. This is Nerf Herder. The self-titled on My Records, which came out in 1996. And Rockingham, which came out in 2016. Now this band got popular in the mid-1996 because this has the Van Halen song on it. They also wrote the theme song to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is like a pop punk rock band, which songs are just drenched in pop culture references. Down on Haley, Goldshirt, Sorry, Easy, Mark Van Halen, Diana, Nose Ring Girl, Anna Lee, You're Gonna Be the One Who's Sorry and I Only Eat Candy. And then on the new one, Portland at the Con, about Comic Cons, The Girl Who Listened to Rush, We Opened for Weezer, Jackie Got Married, I'm the Droid You're Looking For, Doctor Who, Stock Photo Girl. So it's like kind of, I would say pop punk, sure, but just songs about being a lonely loser dork and pop culture references. I love this band. I saw them. This is an original. They found a box of them. These are actually hard to find, the original presses on vinyl on My Records. I think I paid like $50 for it from the band, but whatever. I would have paid more because I've been looking for one. I love this band. I always have. This is one of those bands that always gets spun. The new one's great too. They have, if you want to check out the other ones, they have How to Meet Girls and American Cheese, I believe. It's got a slice of cheese on it. Those are also ones that are in the same ilk, where it's just tons of pop culture references and like, it's pop punk. You know, it's not screamy. Perry Grip, the singer, does jingles and like kids songs for kids and stuff too. So he's known to do that. So he has CDs of that out too. He has a lot of YouTube videos. If you have kids, I'm waiting for my son. He's 2 weeks old now, but I feel like he's 20 already. To get a little older, I'm gonna start playing him like cartoon songs kids will like. But this is Nerf Herder, the self-titled, and Rockingham. And that's all I have. Also, real quick, just to close it out, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Tell a friend. Check out Lyricide17 did a video where he buys records that I've talked about. I'm going to link that below. And also BostonHassle.com. I'm going to start doing a regular column. It's not up yet. I think Monday. Today's Saturday. Monday would be December 2nd. So after December 2nd, you can go see it. I have a bunch in the bag. They're going to be ready to go. It's going to be a regular thing. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.